Pain is not your enemy, it's your architect. It doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to shape you, to mold you, to carve out something within you that even you didn't know existed. Pain is the chisel, and you are the masterpiece in progress. But let me be clear, this isn't just another speech. This isn't a collection of words meant to comfort you in your darkest moments. No, this is a wake-up call, a blueprint, a battle cry. Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you isn't something you can ignore. It's the truth, raw and unfiltered, the kind that shakes you awake and demands action. You've been waiting for the world to give you permission to rise, haven't you? Waiting for someone to tell you it's okay to want more, to fight back, to dream bigger. But here's the hard truth, no one is coming. The time for waiting is over. Everything you need to build the life you want, everything you need to rise from the ashes, it's already inside you. Pain didn't come into your life to break you. It came to build you. And today, you're going to learn how to turn your pain into the foundation of something unshakable. You're going to learn how to use the very thing that tried to destroy you to build an empire that no one can tear down. Are you ready? Because this is where it begins. You've been waiting for permission to rise, haven't you? Waiting for anyone to say the words you've been desperate to hear. It's your time. But let me tell you something, the time for waiting is over. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you've been dreaming of on a silver platter. The world doesn't work that way. If you keep waiting, you'll stay stuck. If you keep hesitating, you'll never move forward. And if you keep asking for permission, you'll stay trapped in the cage they built for you. This is your wake-up call, right here, right now. You don't need anyone's approval to claim what's yours. You don't need anyone's validation to rise. The only thing you need is the courage to say, enough waiting, enough hoping, enough holding back. The time is now, and the person you've been waiting for is staring back at you in the mirror. It's time to rise. Pain is not here to destroy you, it's here to shape you, to mold you, to build something greater. I know that's hard to believe when you're in the thick of it, when every moment feels like it's pulling you apart piece by piece. But pain doesn't come into your life to break you, it comes to awaken you, to test you, to reveal the strength you never knew you had. It's the fire that refines, the storm that clears the path, the weight that builds your endurance. Every tear, every scar, every moment of despair is carving out something extraordinary within you. You may not see it yet, but trust me, your greatest trials are the foundation of your legacy. Think about it, every empire that's ever been built rose from struggle. The stones weren't laid in times of ease, they were carried through sweat and toil, through adversity and grit. And the same is true for you. Your pain is laying the groundwork for something unshakable, something only you can create. It's not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your transformation. So when you feel like the weight is too much to bear, remember this, the pressure isn't there to crush you, it's there to forge you. Your legacy is waiting, and it's built brick by brick from the trials you thought would break you. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your architect. You feel like you've been shattered into 1,000 pieces, don't you? Like life has taken a hammer to everything you thought was solid, leaving you scattered and broken. And yet, somehow, you keep moving forward. You hold yourself together with trembling hands, piecing yourself back bit by bit. Even though it feels like the cracks are too wide, the pieces too sharp, you've become an expert at pretending everything is fine, wearing a mask so convincing that even you almost believe it sometimes. But deep down, you know the truth, you're barely holding on. The nights feel endless. You lie awake, staring at the ceiling, and the silence becomes deafening. It presses down on you, amplifying every doubt, every fear, every whisper in your mind that says, this is all there is. You wonder if the pain will ever stop. If this ache in your chest, this weight in your soul, is something you'll have to carry forever. There's a part of you that's so tired, so drained, that even the thought of hope feels impossible. And yet, another part of you, smaller, quieter, but still there, refuses to give up. That's why you're still here, still fighting, still searching for something more. Because no matter how broken you feel, there's a part of you that knows this can't be the end. There has to be more. There will be more. But for now, it's just you, your pain, and the question that keeps echoing in your mind. How do I make it stop? You know the weight of being misunderstood all too well. It's like carrying a burden no one else can see, no one else can feel. You've tried to explain it, but the words always fall short. They look at you, nod, maybe even say they understand, but you can tell they don't. Not really. They don't see the war you're fighting inside, the way every step feels like a battle, every breath like a struggle. You're left feeling alone, invisible, carrying the ache of their misunderstanding as though it's your own fault. And then there's the betrayal. The ache of it is sharper than any wound. It comes from the ones you trusted most, the ones you thought would stand by you no matter what. Their words, their actions are worse, their silence cut deep. It leaves you questioning everything, even yourself. Was it something you did? Something you didn't do? You replay it over and over, searching for answers that never come. The pain doesn't fade, it just sits there, like a stone in your chest. You're exhausted, not just physically, but in your soul. It's the kind of tired that no amount of sleep can fix, because you're not just battling the world, you're battling yourself. Fighting battles no one else can see, carrying wounds no one else knows exist. It's a constant fight to keep going, to keep showing up, even when you feel like you have nothing left to give. And maybe the worst part? The fear that all of this, the pain, the struggle, the sleepless nights has no meaning, that it's just suffering for the sake of suffering, that there's no purpose, no reason, no end in sight. It's that voice in the back of your mind, whispering, what if this is all for nothing? It's a fear that gnaws at you, a weight that threatens to pull you under. And yet, somehow, you're still here, still standing, even if barely. Because deep down, there's a part of you that that knows this pain must mean something. It has to. It will. The villain isn't always out there in the world, it's often closer than you think. It starts with the doubts, the voice in your head that whispers when you're at your weakest. It tells you, this is all you'll ever be. It's insidious, isn't it? That voice doesn't shout, it doesn't need to. It seeps into your thoughts, weaving itself into your moments of quiet, convincing you that you're not enough. It feeds on your insecurities, growing louder every time you stumble, every time you fall. It's relentless, and worst of all, it sounds like you. And then there's fear. Fear isn't just a feeling, it's a shadow, a presence that looms over you, telling you to stop before you've even begun. It whispers lies in your ear, don't try, don't risk it. Stay small, stay safe. Fear wants you to accept less, to settle, to live a life half-lived. It cloaks itself in logic, convincing you that avoiding the unknown is the smart choice, the safe choice. But fear isn't protecting you, it's chaining you. It's keeping you from everything you were meant to be. But let's not forget the oppressors, the ones who planted those seeds of doubt and fear in the first place. They are the people who broke you, who underestimated you, who saw your power and tried to steal it before you even knew it was yours. Maybe it was their words, sharp and cutting, tearing into your confidence. Maybe it was their actions, calculated to keep you down. Or maybe it was their indifference, their refusal to see you for who you truly are. These oppressors are the ones who benefit when you stay small, when you stay silent, when you believe the lies they told you. They wanted to control you because they feared what you might become. These villains, your doubts, your fears, your oppressors are not as powerful as they seem. They thrive on your belief in them, on the moments you let them take root in your mind. But here's the truth, they don't want you to know their power is an illusion. The voice of doubt can be silenced. The shadow of fear can be confronted. And the oppressors, they only win if you let them. This isn't their story to write, it's yours. And they are about to learn just how strong you really are. If you let this pain define you, it will destroy you. That's the truth you need to face right now. Pain is relentless. It doesn't just fade away on its own. It lingers, burrowing deeper, taking root in your mind and heart, convincing you that this is all there is. If you let it, pain will wrap itself around your identity, binding you to the lies you've been told, to the doubts that haunt you, to the fears that keep you paralyzed. It will steal your voice, your strength, your future. But here's the other side of that truth. If you choose to rise, if you refuse to let the pain control you, it will build you. It will forge you into someone unbreakable. The longer you stay silent, the more you surrender to a life that was never meant to be yours. Every moment you hesitate, every time you hold back, you hand over a piece of yourself to the pain. You start to believe the lies it tells you that you're not enough, that you can't overcome this, that the life you dream of isn't for you. But deep down, you know that's not true. You know this silence isn't who you are. You weren't born to live small, to accept less, to settle for a life dictated by fear and pain. But staying here, staying silent, staying stuck, that's exactly what you're doing. You're letting the pain win. And the stakes couldn't be higher. Because the longer you stay here, the harder it will be to leave. The more you accept this as your reality, the more it becomes your truth. And that's not what you want. That's not who you are. This pain, this struggle, it's not here to define you. It's here to challenge you, to push you, to make you rise. But you have to choose it. You have to decide that this isn't where your story ends. Because if you don't, the pain will write your story for you, and it won't be the story you were meant to live. This is the moment to decide, will the pain destroy you, or will it build you? I see you. I see the weight you carry, the invisible wounds that no one else can see, but that you feel every second of every day. They're the kind of wounds that don't bleed but still ache, the kind that make every step feel heavier, every breath feel harder. You carry them in silence because explaining them feels impossible, and even if you could, you're not sure anyone would truly understand. You've learned to smile through the pain, to nod and say, I'm fine, when deep down, you're anything but. The exhaustion isn't just physical, it's in your soul, draining you in ways that no rest can repair. And then there's the betrayal. That's a pain unlike any other. It's sharp, constant, unrelenting, like a knife that never stops cutting. It comes from the ones you trusted most, the ones who were supposed to protect you, support you, believe in you. And their actions, or sometimes their absence, leave a mark that doesn't fade. It's not just the hurt of what they did, it's the shattering of what you thought was real. You trusted them, you let them in, and they left you bleeding, wondering if you could ever trust again. That kind of pain doesn't just go away, it lingers, a constant reminder of what you've lost. But here's the thing, your pain is real, and it's valid. You don't have to pretend it doesn't exist. You don't have to carry it in silence. Acknowledge it, feel it, because that's the first step to freeing yourself from it. Your wounds, your scars, your pain, they are part of your story, but they don't have to define it. They are not the end of you. They are the beginning of something stronger, something greater. You've carried this pain for so long, but it's time to stop letting it carry you. It's time to use it, to rise from it, to build from it. Because you are more than the pain, you are what comes after. If you're waiting for someone to fix this, you'll be waiting forever. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to swoop in and undo the damage or take the pain away. That's not how life works. You can sit here, hoping, wishing, praying that someone will step in and make it better, but every moment you wait is a moment lost. Because the truth is, the only person who can change this is you. The longer you wait, the deeper you sink into the belief that you're powerless, that you're stuck, that this is just how things are meant to be. But that's a lie. And the more you believe it, the harder it becomes to see the way out. The prison you're trapped in wasn't built by others, it was built by believing their lies. Every word they said to tear you down, every doubt they planted, every fear they nurtured in you became a brick in the walls that now surround you. You didn't realize it at the time, but piece by piece you started building the very thing that now holds you back. And here's the hardest truth of all, you hold the key. The door isn't locked. It never was. But you have to stand up, face those lies, and tear down the walls yourself. No one else can do it for you. You can't wait for permission, for help, for someone to tell you it's time. The time is now. It has to be now. Because if you don't act, you'll stay trapped, and the life you were meant to live will pass you by. And that staying stuck when you were born to soar is the real tragedy. Here's the truth about pain. It's not here to break you. I know it feels like it sometimes. I know it feels like the weight of it is too much to bear, like it's tearing you apart piece by piece. But pain doesn't come into your life to destroy you. It comes to build you. It's not the end of your story, it's the turning point. Every scar you carry is a lesson etched into your skin, a reminder of what you've endured, what you've survived, what you've conquered. Every tear you've shed is a seed, watering the soil of your resilience, planting the roots of strength that will carry you forward. You've been looking at pain as your enemy, but what if it's your greatest teacher? What if it's showing you what you're truly made of, carving away the parts of you that no longer serve you, revealing the unbreakable core within? Pain doesn't leave you the same, it transforms you. It pushes you beyond what you thought you could handle, stretching your limits until you realize you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. This is the moment to shift your perspective, to see pain for what it really is, not the force that ends you, but the force that shapes you. You're not being broken, you're being built. Stronger, wiser, unstoppable. And that, my friend, is the power of pain. What if the broken pieces of your life aren't ruins but building blocks? Think about that for a moment. The shattered fragments you've been trying to hide, the scars you've been ashamed to show, what if they're not signs of failure? What if they're the foundation of something greater? You've been seeing your wounds as weaknesses, but what if they're your greatest strengths? What if the very things you thought disqualified you are the tools that will help you rise? Every heartbreak, every setback, every betrayal, they've shaped you, taught you, prepared you. They've given you the wisdom and resilience that only come from enduring the fire. And those chains that once held you down, they're not your prison anymore. They can be melted down, reforged into armor strong enough to withstand anything life throws at you. The fire you feared, the one you thought would consume you, it didn't. You're still here. And now that fire isn't a threat, it's your forge. It's the place where you've been refined, where the weapon you didn't know you had was forged. That weapon is your strength, your determination, your refusal to stay broken. The fire that tried to destroy you has become your ally, and the chains that bound you are now your shield. You're not a victim of your pain, you're a warrior forged by it. What if the pain you curse is actually your greatest ally? I know that sounds impossible when all you can feel is the weight of it pressing down on you. But think about it, pain is the one thing that has never lied to you. It has shown you exactly where your limits are, and, more importantly, how far you can push beyond them. It's forced you to face truths you might have avoided, to dig deeper into yourself than you ever thought possible. What if pain isn't here to punish you, but to show you just how strong you already are? Look at the moments you've survived, The times when you thought you couldn't take another step, but somehow you did. The days when you felt like giving up, but something inside you refused to quit. That wasn't weakness, it was strength. And where did that strength come from? It came from the pain. Pain has been your greatest teacher, the fire that has burned away your doubts and revealed the core of who you are. So what if, instead of fighting it, you leaned into it? What if you let it guide you, shape you, empower you? Because the truth is, pain isn't your enemy. It's the proof that you're still here, still fighting, still capable of rising. And it's showing you that you're far stronger than you ever believed. Look at those who doubted you. Really look at them. Are they free? Are they whole? Or are they still shackled by the very fears they tried to place on you? The people who told you to stay small, who tried to dim your light, were never as strong as they pretended to be. Their words, their actions, they weren't about you. They were about their own insecurities, their own fear of seeing someone rise where they felt trapped. They were never trying to protect you, they were trying to keep you from becoming the person they were too afraid to be. And here's the truth, they never wanted you to know the moment you stop fearing your pain is the moment they lose all control over you. Pain is what they use to manipulate you, to keep you in place, to make you doubt yourself. But when you stop running from it, when you face it head on and refuse to let it define you, their power evaporates. It's gone. They can't hurt you anymore because you've turned the very thing they used against you into your strength. You've reclaimed your power. They wanted you to believe you were weak, but it's not you who's shackled, it's them. They are trapped by the same fears, the same doubts, the same small thinking that they tried to impose on you. But you're not like them. You're stronger than that. You've broken free. And now you see the truth, their chains were never meant for you. Your pain isn't holding you back anymore. It's the force that's propelling you forward. And the ones who doubted you, they'll never outrun what you're becoming. Are you going to let them win? Or will you rise? Will you let the words they spoke, the doubts they planted, the pain they caused, be the story of your life? Or will you take that pain and use it to build something they never thought possible? The choice is yours. Pain doesn't get to define you unless you let it. The moments that broke you don't get to be the final chapter unless you stop writing. So what will it be? Will you let the pain define you, or will you let it build you? Will you stay where you are, or will you rise to become everything they said you couldn't? Do you see it yet? Do you feel it? The way your pain is shaping you into someone unstoppable. Every tear, every scar, every moment of despair, they're not signs of weakness. They're proof of your strength. They're the raw materials for the person you're becoming. The pain isn't here to hold you back, it's here to launch you forward. It's carving out a version of you that's stronger, wiser, and untouchable. So I'll ask you again, will you rise? Because the pain that tried to break you is the very thing that's making you unstoppable. It's your time now. Stand up, take the pain, and use it to build the life you deserve. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for a savior to come and fix what's broken. Stop waiting for permission to move forward, to be great, to claim the life you've always wanted. No one is coming to rescue you, and no one is going to hand you your dreams. The time to rise isn't someday, or when you feel ready, it's now. Right now. Every moment you wait is a moment lost. Every excuse you make is another chain holding you back. You've been standing on the edge for too long. It's time to leap. It's time to act. It's time to claim what's yours. Take every broken piece of yourself, the shards you thought could never be whole again, and start building. Build something unbreakable. Build something indestructible. Every scar, every wound, every tear has given you the tools you need to create a life that no one can take away from you. You are not defined by what has happened to you. You are defined by what you do next. The pieces may look shattered, but they're not ruins, they're building blocks. So pick them up, one by one, and construct something powerful, something beautiful, something that stands as a testament to your resilience. The time to rise is now, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, not when someone gives you the green light. Now. This is your life, your moment, your story to write. Stop waiting and start building. You've got everything you need, you've had it all along. Now use it. Rise, create, become unstoppable. The time is yours. Take it. Embrace the pain, it is your greatest teacher. Stop running from it, stop hiding it, and stop pretending it doesn't exist. Pain isn't the enemy you've been taught to fear, it's the guide you've been ignoring. It's there to teach you, to strengthen you, to show you what you're truly capable of. Lean into it, because within that pain lies the wisdom and resilience you need to rise. Every wound you've endured, every scar you carry, holds a lesson, a blueprint for who you are becoming. Embrace it, and let it show you the way forward. Turn every doubt into determination. Let the voice in your head that whispers you can't fuel your resolve to prove it wrong. Take every failure, every moment when you thought you'd hit your limit, and let it become your fuel. Let it ignite the fire that pushes you to try again, to fight harder, to never give up. Every setback you faced isn't a wall, it's a step. A step forward, a step higher, a step closer to the life you've always dreamed of. Every time you've been knocked down, you've learned how to stand back up. And every time you've stood back up, you've grown stronger. It's time to reclaim your story. Take back the pen from the hands of doubt, fear, and pain, and start writing a new chapter. This chapter isn't about survival, it's about triumph. This chapter isn't about being a victim, it's about being the hero. The one who rose from the ashes, who turned pain into power, who refused to let life's trials define them. You get to decide what happens next. You get to choose what your story will be. So write it boldly, write it fearlessly, and write it with the knowledge that you are unstoppable. This is your life. Own it. Live it. Become the hero you were always meant to be. They thought your pain would destroy you. They thought it would break you, silence you, and leave you buried beneath the weight of everything you've endured. But they were wrong. All it did was lay the foundation for an empire they will never conquer. Every tear you shed, every moment you doubted yourself, every scar you carry, they weren't signs of defeat. They were bricks. Bricks that have built something unshakable within you. They didn't see it coming, but your pain has become your power, your struggle has become your strength, and your story is becoming your victory. Your pain will build empires, empires of resilience, of wisdom, of unrelenting strength. It will become the legacy you leave behind, the proof that you were here, that you fought, that you rose. They can't take it from you. They can't stop it. Because this empire is yours, and it's built on the foundation of everything you overcame. So now, the question isn't whether or not you'll rise, it's when. And the answer is clear, the time is now. Go and build your empire. The world is waiting to see what you'll create. Make it extraordinary.